Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat, and welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be back with y'all, and Mel is starting off strong today, redeeming a father joke. You just jamming. I'm always jamming. It's a good life. But Mel, I have a father joke for you. Did you hear about the race car that stopped at a red light? It's breaking news. I apologize for very little. Got it memorized. Hey, Bad Rexy, good to see ya. Father jokes. I love them. But yeah, welcome back to Let's Play. I hope everyone had a good 4th of July weekend. My parents were in town, which was a lot of fun. We did a lot. We went to the Bronx Zoo. We saw Six. I was in a parade. We went to the Museum of Moving Image. I sent them to the Met today on their own, so I can actually do some work. It's been great visiting with my folks, though. But before we dive in, I want to give thank you to a couple folks. Got some follows in over the weekend. So thank you, Sky Dude 0917. Thank you, Christian Vigilance. Thank you, Webby Pumpkin. And thank you, Mr. Whittier Jones. Thank you for the follows. So, hey, Mrs. Oakmind. Good to see ya. Yeah, Bronx Zoo was nice. It's huge. It's like 260 acres. It's massive. You get so upset that when I went to Brooklyn, I didn't have time to go to the zoo. Oh, Sag. Especially, I mean, to get to from Brooklyn to the Bronx is going to take a while, unfortunately. But it's totally worth it the next time you're in the city. But yeah, so brain just could not fire up there for a moment. Let's go ahead. Let's dive back in. Hey, I just realized that Father Evan and I have the same crucifix hanging in the background. Oh, hey. Yeah, my Nana gave that to me for my ordination. That's why they built it. I mean, yes, they built the subway. It doesn't mean that that's the problem, though, is it's going to take a long time to get from Brooklyn to the Bronx via subway. That's like a 90-minute to 2-hour ride, depending on where you are. Some of the MMO guys. Hey, Bray, heard. Good to see you. Some of the MMO guys were in town July 4th. Met him for the first time in person. Hey, that's awesome. It's always fun to meet online friends in person. You're on vacation. The time to travel didn't matter. Your ex's mom just dropped us off the Coney Island stop, and we were stopping everywhere anyways. Nice. Got for your confirmation. Oh, very nice. So, well, let's go ahead. Let's dive into turning down that volume. So last we left our sad little guy. It was day 51. Something bad has happened at Castle Oblivion. We don't know what. And we're worried about our friend Axel. Pixels bring peace of mind. It's strongly Pixel. Well, good morning, sunshine. During your beauty nap, we found out the whole CO team is toast. No, that includes Axel. It's such a pain to hunt down every last treasure chest, don't you think? I don't know. I'm gonna get out of it. Hey, totally, Roxas. Go get all the chests in Mission 14, man. I'll make it worth your while. I think we already have. Well, you get those chests in Mission 14? Huh, looks like one left. Let me know when you find them all. I've got something I can give ya. Can't be that good. Dance, water, dance! Oh, look, we can just buy a level. Can we synthesize anything useful? No. I love that the Moogles even have organization robes. Yeah, it's pretty great. Honestly, I feel like they did do this, but if they didn't, it was a mistake. Making a plush of Organization Moogle. I have another level. That's what I was doing. Oh, I have 2. I want to dodge roll around because I play enough Kingdom Hearts and I forget that that button doesn't dodge roll in the castle. You're awake. Did you ever find out what happened at Castle Oblivion? We're looking into what befell them. Them? How many? You still don't know? What I know is that I don't owe you any explanations. Now get to work. Dang. You'll be on your own for a while. Wherever our other members are, they're certainly not here to help. A tail bunker has surfaced in Twilight Town. What's a tail bunker? I'm sure I'll figure it out when I get there. Why did you spawn right on me? That's so unfair. Why were you targeting that one, Roxas? Whatever. Nope. 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 Hello? I'd like to target. Thank you. Why does this plant have as much health as a boss? I can't jump. The plant has made me heavy. And now I'm blinded. Look, it's a Kingdom Hearts game where status effects actually matter.
Nice try.
It's fine, it's fine, everything's fine. Bulky vendor! Quick, get it! Get the prizes! Nope, get the... Darn it, Roxas. Only to you, or do they actually affect the enemies as well? I don't remember if you can put them on enemies. I think you might be able to, but they definitely affect you, because, like, you can't jump, there's blind, there's poison, there's fire. And, like, some of the other Kingdom Hearts games talk about it, like, you can... Like, there's items that are like, here, your status effect. And it's like, what status effects? Nice use of rising tension here. The soundtrack. It's the name of the song. Mission complete. Ignore everything else. This Keyblade is so long. It's like as long as Roxas is tall. Give me your health drops. They're very few and meager. I want the second treasure chest. Is it down here? Nope. Oh, there it is. All that searching just for that. You know what would be a good mod for this? Quick RTC. Like, once you're done and you found everything, just go whoop.
Yeah.
Was that sound of disappointment for the lack of Axel or for the low to resolution town? We'll let you, the viewer, decide. Lets you play this mission or tackle it with others in mission mode. Nice. Aerial tech panel displays buoyancy. So I guess that lets you jump higher or like float. We'll find out. We'll equip it. How did we write diary entries when we were in a coma? I must have missed a lot. It's like I had the longest dream. I woke up to find a bunch of seashells by my pillow. I counted them, one for each day that I was asleep. I was wondering who left them, but then when I got to the clock tower, Xion gave me another one. I held it up to my ear and I could hear the ocean. Why did it sound so familiar? The stuff I dreamt felt strangely familiar too. I remember being in a white room with somebody the same age as me wearing red clothes, and then he disappeared into the white. There was this girl's voice. She said she knew I'd be snoozing. Why would she know that? The voice sounds a little like Xion's. Red herring. It sounds like the worst has come to pass. The whole CO team wiped from existence. It's hard to come to grips with the idea Axel's gone. I feel choked up? I don't know what you'd call it. I've never had this kind of sensation. I went up to the clock tower to have ice cream, but nobody else showed up. Say Edge. The joke about how the low resolution town made me laugh out loud just now. I'm glad. That is the kind of experience I aim to provide. Oh, that's a synthesis material. Okay. Yeah, let's put some potions in, because her voice sounded like Xion's. I must have met two women, and she didn't sound like Larxine's, so they must be the same. The heartless throughout each world are growing in strength and number. Take this; it should serve you well. Level link, let's go! This thing doubles our levels. Rox, maybe nobody joined you for ice cream because you didn't invite anyone? Just saying. Or Usurus. Nope. Ah. But yeah, we just went from being level 5 to level 9 with that. And we didn't even really have to sacrifice that much. We're sacrificing a potion. Yeah, maybe Zigbar wants to come out for ice cream. You're conducting mission solo for the time being. Yeah, collect emblems. Assess my agility, apparently. Yes, we've seen you tackle many giant enemies, but we think you need to just jump around in the desert. The emblems have a ring of light around them, which gets smaller as time elapses. Eventually they vanish. If you want to complete the mission gauge, you must grab emblems with the rings intact. But, like, where do they start? Ah! Panic! The enemies are a distraction! No, that's okay, enemies. No, Heartless, I'm not collecting hearts today. Oh, no. No, thank you, my good sir. I do not want any of what you are selling today. Oh, shoot! Oh, I don't think I'm gonna get it. Oh, that must have been close. Alright, let's beat up on this Heartless. No, I said beat up on Heartless, not let them run away. I think I accidentally unequipped Scan. Based on the fact that I can't see the enemy's health. That could be a problem if I were trying to actually do something. No, that's... Roxas, please. My emblems are dying. I need to get them medicine quickly. I may not actually be able to even make that jump. Try it from up here. No! I just want to use the Keyblade swing to extend my jump a little. I don't want to hit anything. Oh, I think I see how to get that one. I think I'm just supposed to fall off the side here. Also, I'm confused. I thought the ring was supposed to make the emblems disappear, but apparently not. I don't know. I've only played this game. What would I know? I jumped! I hit the button! I will join for ice cream. I'm always down for ice cream. I legit want to try the sea salt ice cream. I think it would be interesting. I know Binging with Babish made a recipe for it. Yeah, I'll return to Castle without the bonus. Rather than sounding more and more like me playing Assassin's Creed 2. I jumped! I swear I jumped! Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Assassin's Creed. I really like 2. 2 is, honestly, the whole trilogy of 2 is my favorite. Exclamation mark, poll. Well, you're a mod, Gale. You can just make a poll. Also, good to see you, Gale. I hope you had a nice 4th. Never played any of the others. I think that's fine. Honestly, 3 was really boring. 1's fun, but if you play 2, it's gonna feel like a downgrade. Everyone raves about 4, but I don't think 4's that great. Like, it's fine, but people are like, oh, the ship combat's so good. It's like, no, it's not. It's entirely adequate. That's my hot take. The PC port of AC1 is terrible? I believe it. I cannot remember exactly what Twitch's commands are. Yeah, I just pressed the button. Slash pull. Mel's got you covered. You mod a lot. That's fair. I am technically a mod on Junies, but that's mostly for a joke. And obviously I'm a mod on my own channel, but like, that's different. I have all the power. I do not need to spend points for my redeems. Infinite cosmic power, itty bitty living space. Getting some slot releasers is very nice. I think you basically get one slot releaser every level from here on out. Greetings, Kupo. I wish I could know what these do. I just claimed that Father Evan didn't fulfill my father jokes. That is like how... Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, what? Are you abusing your mod power, Gale? Yeah, I wish I could remember what... let's just do it. You get so much money and you don't use a ton of it. It's a job I do for free. Channel points. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so our current ring, strength 3, defense 8, and combo boost. And the fencer's ring, HP plus 20. That's pretty big, actually. Like, it's a hit to our strength is so good, though. It's at 74. Yeah, 71 isn't that big of a difference from 71 to 74, but 80 to 100 HP is... I do like combo boost, but oh well. Can't have it all. I'm going to throw in an ether and a high potion. How would a single Space Marine, Chaplain, or Apothecary fare if he was main character of this game? I think pretty well. I mean, given how ridiculously overpowered Space Marines are. I tried to clear the redeems before I can refund myself. Nice. Yeah, I forget that's a thing. Fire plants have surfaced in Agrabah. Well, it's a desert, so of course it's got fire enemies. Isn't this just natural? Step Zero and I are aware of what we do. Another sandstorm. Are you sure, Aladdin? Unfortunately, yes. All the merchants were talking about it. This is terrible. That's the only one of the things that's got me worried. What else has gone wrong? The Heartless. They've been showing up all over Agrabah. Heartless? Yeah, they always appear right before a sandstorm hits. Thought it was just a coincidence during the last storm, but... Oh no, I hope this isn't a sign of things to come. What we do in the shadows. What a fun series. So silly, so stupid. Stop hitting me with fire! That was not permission for you to spawn in and hit me with fire as well. Loaded gear +2. I will admit, some of the names of the, what essentially are the weapons get a little weird. Oh, I forgot to put scan back on. How did that... What was going on with that ice? He went out and back. I suppose ice cream does win there because gelato is like a subset of ice cream. It is almost impossible to get stracciatella gelato in America, though. Even at like good gelato places, they don't often carry it. Praxis doesn't get the second Keyblade until blank happens. Yeah. So it's actually tied to a particular form of gear in this game. So in mission mode, you can actually use it in any level once you have it unlocked. And the cool thing about it, too, is... No! Yep. It also modifies his model so his hood is up the whole time, which is cool. In story mode, I don't believe it gives you that, though. I think it's just Oblivion. But you do get to do it in the story mode at a certain point. Notebook for you. You are overdue on the library, young man. What? No. Bad book. No. We're putting you in the corner again. Oh, or we're just going to destroy you. That works too. Hey, get back here, Abu. I told you can't just take things from the marketplace. Ook, ook, eek, eek. Well, no excuses. We made a promise. No more stealing now. Come on, let's give this back. Hey, K-Max! Thank you for the 5 months of subbing. Huzzah! Okay, I need to leave alert. I can finally go grocery shopping. Do your work. You have mowed the lawn. You have subbed. Now go shopping. But I hate work. All of man's life is drudgery and toil. I don't know where the extra fire plants are supposed to be to eliminate. Oh. Well, no, you're not a fire plant. You're just a normal plant. Oh, well. Oh, we're so close to another level. Boost your magic. Okay. We'll see what it does. 20 days! Aw, here comes Sourpuss. Why the long face? Nothing, okay? Aw, you gotta admit, the castle's a lot quieter. Half as loud, you might say. But I get used to smaller, more tightly knit group. How about you?
Hey.
Hey, Roxas, man, did you hear? No survivors. Everybody at CO got KO'd. Heavy stuff.
Oh.
And they're really gone. Gone with the wind, right, Ziggy? Whew. I really dodged a bullet there. Lucky you. Now you get to double your hours to help pick up the slack. Bleg. Roger that. Remind me to underachieve twice as hard from now on. Challenges and ordeal badges. Ordeals are trickier versions. Okay, before I forget, I'm putting scan back on. Sit up on the clock tower, but no one comes. Not Axel, not even Shion. That weird lump in my throat won't go away. Something else is bothering me. This is gonna sound crazy. Good thing this is a private diary. But these pictures keep flashing through my head. Not all the time, just sometimes, ever since I collapsed. It happens when I'm awake too on missions, so I don't think it's a dream. Where are the pictures coming from? Oh, we got new keyblade we can check out. So which one do I have right now? I have Wild Gear equipped. So Wild Gear is plus 40. Loaded Gear, also plus 40, plus 15. Plus 2, plus 3. Slight boost in my defense that the magic one doesn't give, but otherwise the magic one's pretty good. Ah. I think I'm gonna stick with the Wild Gear. Like, the magic boost is nice, but I think a little bit more defense is a little needed right now. Roxas is squishy. You pulling your weight, kiddo. Not that you weigh anything. What are you? Around $1.05? Here, better take this in case you pass out. Well, thank you for the free high potion. Everybody's out in the field pulling double duty. Hard work. I salute you. Should be out there doing hard work. Dude, Demix, not dance water dance. Yeah, if you do challenges, you get stuff. Not gonna really do that. Finish your preparations and be on your way. Oh boy, defeat the Shadow Globs. They've overrun Twilight Town and have been deemed harmless at present. However, allowing them to propagate further could have dire and unpredictable consequences. Destroy them on sight. Ew. It's like Oogie Boogie came through town. Out of my way, Heartless. Don't start nothing, there won't be nothing. I hope you like the fight sounds. Or fight music starting up and ending repeatedly. I feel like it's going to be happening a lot in this world. Pretty handy that we're getting these ethers, honestly. Oh, that orb is having a good day up there. I should be able to reach that one with a jump. Yeah. That one, however, less so. Oop, wrong button. So in my free time, I've been playing Kingdom Hearts 1 again on the Steam versions. You know, it's finally out. It finally exists. But I decided, you know what? I'm just going to take it easy. So I'm playing on easy mode. Just kind of turn it. It's a great way to turn my brain off in the evening. But I'm also skipping all the cutscenes because I've played it recently enough. And it's wild. No, that didn't hit it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's wild. Just how quickly the game is going. Like, I'm 4 hours in and I'm already to, I'm through with Atlantica and about to begin, what's the, Nightmare Before Christmas. Halloween Town, like. Ah! That won't work. If I use the right spell? No, the wall's in the way. Okay, well, we're done. Hey, Roxas! Axel! How's it hanging? What's the matter? Look like you've seen a ghost. Axel? But I thought you were gone. Castle Oblivion, the whole team was annihilated. Correction. The weaklings were annihilated. By me. You had me worried. Worried? Well, that's a neat trick, considering you haven't got a heart to feel with. But wait here. I'll go buy us some ice cream. I'd argue that Marluxia was stronger than Axel. No. And prettier. Okay, but it's not saying much. I gotta check in with the boss or he's gonna let me have it. You haven't RTC'd yet? Here's your ice cream, murderer. Nah. Well, why come here? Ice cream. I guess I need some time to sort out my feelings. You don't have feelings, you don't have a heart. See? Whatever, Mr. I don't have a heart. Hey, your ice cream's melting. Eat up. Oh, thanks. Axel as a jobber. Ooh, that's... Ooh. I watch enough wrestling to know what a jobber is, Gale. I don't know. I think Axel is actually pretty... Like, if we're... Okay, because we kind of have to define what is strong, I guess. Because, like, in the Kingdom Hearts universe... I watch enough anime to know what a jobber is. Fair. Because, like, in terms of, like, raw physical and magical strength, yeah, okay, maybe Marluxia might, depending on which Marluxia we're talking about as well. Because obviously Norded Marluxia is way more powerful, but that's because he's Norded. But Axel has a very strong heart. And that is a very powerful thing in this series. So... that's why I think he's stronger, actually. You know, I've started inviting Xion up here while you were gone. Xion? Really? To our special place? Yeah, I promised her the three of us could get ice cream together when, you know, once you got back. He also has a catchphrase. Me and her are friends now. Level up. Do you no, dude? You got it memorized. Why didn't you report in? Because I'm a blossoming debutante on the warpath. I mean, oh, good to see you too. You're welcome. Thanks for the kind words. I'm told Namine has gone missing. There 1 minute, gone the next. I don't know how she got out. You searched every room, I expect. You're kidding, right? That's like counting grains of dust in a building full of sneezing people. What about the chamber? Did you find it? Nope. Come on, I would have told you that much. I gotta hand it to you. You were right. About Marluxia, the traitors? You knew something was up. All I did was find a place to send everyone who was getting in the way. Well, it's nice to know where I stand. Sheesh. Did you come back in one piece, or didn't you? I disposed of Zexion. That's how you want it, right? I'll play it your way. For now. Hey, get this. They paired me with you today as a slap on the wrist. What? Why am I a slap on the wrist? Well, they just know how much I loathe babysitting. Oh, thanks. Would it kill them to give me a day off? Oh, look at these bags under my eyes. No, those are tear tattoos. Come on, partner. He's so baby. He is. Right behind you. You know, in many ways, I feel like Roxas just kind of get plopped in the middle of a massive interdimensional geopolitical struggle. And he just wants to have friends to have ice cream with. After work, Axel turned up. Just like that, out of nowhere. I didn't know what to say. I thought we'd lost him for good. We went up to the clock tower and talked for a while. I told him about Shion. The choked up sensation has gone away. Let's get this show on the road. Anyone here? Ah. Shion. Huh, search me, man. Probably out on a mission, no? I'm sending Axel with you today. Hearts in Agrabah. What do you say we make this quick? Yeah. I'm experiencing lots of deja vu, and it's giving me an existential crisis. Yes, Pete! Let's go! I was wondering when Pete was going to show up. Where is it? It's gotta be around here somewheres. Who is that? And what's he up to? He wasn't here the last time I came by, that's for sure. Grr. Well, I ain't giving up till I find a way in. Once I find the lamp that's stashed down there, all my wishes will come true. He thinks some lamp is gonna grant his wishes? Strange guy. Change of plans, Roxas. Our new wish is to follow Lunkhead there. What? But we're on a heart collection. Won't we get in trouble if we just... look into any suspicious characters you come across is an important part of the job. But wouldn't you still call it disobeying orders? No, I call it flexible thinking. Got it memorized? Can I put that on my CV? Flexible thinking? Plus, we'll still have plenty of time to collect hearts afterwards. No harm, no foul. I guess. Good. Then we're agreed. Now the key here is to keep your eyes on him, Roxas. Just make sure he doesn't lay eyes on you. Follow? Stealth section, stealth section. Pursue a target by keeping him inside your blue zone. Careful if he escapes or you enter his red zone, you'll be caught. I prefer solutions finding over flexible thinking on my resume. Porque no los dos. You have room for soft skills on your resume? I don't even remember. I don't really need to have a resume. Hard skills are pass-fail. Soft skills give you fluff to talk about. Fair. To a certain degree. I mean, some of the hard skills, like Canva, you might be asked, like, what kind of products did you design with it? Axel! He just walked through there and disappeared. What do I do? Axel! I'm panicking! You know, theoretically, aren't you supposed to put, like, your three previous jobs on your resume? Because if that's the case, mine would be priest, seminarian, cashier at Lowe's. Only if they're relevant or fall within the last 10 years. Well, I graduated in 2013, so that was the summer I worked at Lowe's, so I guess that one officially falls off. What's he staring at that wall for? Roxas, we wouldn't be investigating if we knew all the answers. Bingo! Finally found it. Secret tunnel! Open sesames! A hidden door in the middle of the city? Why? Where does it lead? I think our friend there is about to show us. Keep tailing him. Try to be subtle about it. Include the bartending as field marketing. Ooh, that's smart. Never would have guessed this was here. And I'll say, this is a nice little bonus.
Yeah. Yeah.
This cave's bigger than it looks from the outside. Hey, I think we lost him. So what now? I guess we have to give up for now. Switch back to Heart Collection. You don't want to look for him? Nah, I would like to know what he was up to, but hey. Just finding out about this cave is enough of a feather in our cap for today. Plus, searching a place this big would be a royal pain, and I just did that with Castle Oblivion. What happened to being an important part of the job? Like I said, flexible thinking. Oh, I see. Narrator voice. No, he did not see. Yeah, let's just get this mission over and done with. There's some deep gashes in the floor here. Yeah, like someone dragged something heavy across it. Gee, like a statue or something? I don't know if that's where that belongs, but it belongs there now. Oh, there's a switch over there. There's an indentation in the middle. That looks like some kind of mechanism. Thanks, Axel, your real help. First it was a stealth mission, now it's a boss pushing mission. Is there anything this game can't do? Run natively on a non-mobile platform. No, Box, I really need you to get out from the wall. Nope! I do wish they did a proper HD remake of this game. I think if it got like the Chain of Memories treatment, where not just like a visual upgrade, but also just like a fine tuning, I think it would be really good. Coda does not deserve it. Coda just shouldn't have existed. Hot take. That's incredibly lukewarm in the Kingdom Hearts fandom. No! That reset the door. Game. Why? The only purpose of Coda is to introduce the Hurt TM. No one understands what the Hurt TM is. It also introduces the fact that Beat and Maleficent are looking for something. Although that gets re-brought up in 3 anyway. And also that Ansem hid some data inside of Sora's heart because he's a terrible person. Hey, the bugs are in Kingdom Hearts 3 for some reason. Okay, yeah. They force coded references in that, you know, without it, the game would have been marginally better. Hey, Clutch! Thanks so much for the 3-month resub. Whoop, whoop. Big Clutch in the building. Big Clutch in the rectory, I suppose. How you doing, Clutch? Doing great? Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I'm doing pretty well. Switch puzzle. It's also a bit of a mistake to be playing Kingdom Hearts 1 in my free time, I feel, because it's screwing me up on the control base. Because this one's based on the Nintendo controls. So attack and jump are switched from the PlayStation version. No! Should have been able to make that jump. That was an easy jump.
Yeah.
Can't even do anything with it. What? You all saw that. He grabbed onto the ledge and was like, never mind.
Yeah.
Oh, hello. That's a very round enemy. Yeah, it's a large body, but with armor. They are... There's always just like one large round enemy in Kingdom Hearts. Like there's the large bodies, the large armors. Even the Unversed and Birth by Sleep have a large version. Large bodies are probably my least favorite to fight because I don't find them interesting. Just slow. Yeah, I think it's because you can only attack them from behind that it's like, oh. I think the action commands in 2 made them fine. I jumped, I swear. Axel, you spawned right on top of me and almost pushed me off. Today's the feast day of very relatable saint, Saint Grimbald. I don't know what you're talking about, Clutch. 0 out of 10, can't relate. Speaking of which, Rotata. Uh-oh. I didn't even pay attention where I just went. Oh, okay. It was just... That's on a timer. I don't even know where it is. So today's gospel is actually basically a rerun of something that we heard... on a Sunday not that long ago, the healings of the daughter of Jairus and the woman with hemorrhaging. And one of the important things is not just that they were healed, which, I think is a pretty good thing, but also that the healing enabled them to return to life in community and family. I don't care about a potion. Nope, still don't care about a potion. Well, I'm so close to getting the bonus completion, but oh well. Must be something with that door, and I have no idea where that door actually is. St. Grimbald, we'll pray that I have luscious hair. Oh, hey, look, more Heartless. Although they won't give me any hearts because they're not Emblem Heartless. Ooh. Anytime I find a synthesis item, that absolutely gets replaced, or replaces a potion. In Portugal, we actually call the type of balding that starts in the crown as getting a Saint Anthony. Ah, okay. In Japan, it's actually referred to as the Francis X, as in Francis Xavier. It takes a good cat. Anyway, let's go. Words hard, let's go. Hi, Cream. You're more outgoing now, you know that? Well, you are too. Me? You think? Guess you must have rubbed off on me.
Huh?
Huh? Who did? Let's just say you can thank yourself. You gotta sit here again and laugh like idiots over this ice cream. He's talking about Sora. I guess Shion's not gonna show today. Tony, turn around. Doubles the level of magic panels linked to it. Ooh. Cure. That's really solid. Tony, turn around. Sorry, look around. But I'm not Tony. Sora influences actually even before Sora bursts from Roxas is just like the film Aliens. I think my mom always said turn around because that's what I did when I was looking for something. Went in circles. Lol. Where is she? Hey, Roxas. Axel, have you seen number 14? Shion, Now that you mention it, no. It's been days now, 10 days at least. I wish I could help, but I took off for CO almost as soon as Shion joined up. There's a lot I missed. I feel bad. I promised we'd all get together for some ice cream. The two of you are friends, right? Tell you what, I'll pick Sykes' brains, see what I can find out. Thanks, Axel. Is it weird that when I was looking through Audible's selection of great courses lectures, my thought on reading one guy's name was, that guy's parents must have been Catholic because his middle initials are FX. No, I think that's very fair. Greetings, Kopo. Okay. I think I'll take that out in favor of 3 cures, because then I don't need as much in the way of potions and things. Put that there. Okay, so all of my fires are level 2 when I do that. If I do that, all of them are... Ooh. If I do that, they're all level 5 fire! That's pretty good. I'll ask him about Shion. You go take care of your mission. I didn't return until late yesterday night. It has been tough on so few of us. Do you have any blazing shards, Roxas? Give one to me. I just need some blazing shards, Roxas. It'll be fine. Yeah, here you go, dude. Take this in exchange. A frost shard. Okay, my dude. I'm having you visit a new world for your new mission today. Eliminate the Sergeant. A castle with a rose under a cloche. I wonder what world this could be. Hunchback of Notre Dame. Calling it now. Oh! I should have said Pikachu. This is the castle. What was that roar? Came from inside. Maybe it's the Heartless I'm after. I guess I'll find out. Time to head and take a look. Roxas just heard something threatening and really just went, I'm gonna check the look. Posted, no trespassing. This sign can't stop me because Roxas can't read. Block level plus. Ooh. Hey Roxas, how are those lessons in self-preservation going? My what? So Pitoni finished Dune. Guess what he's playing now? Factorio. Is that or Slay the Spire? I think he gave up on well, not gave up. I think he put Pyanodon on the shelf for now, which I don't blame him. That mod just looks tedious, honestly. I'm excited about the big update, but he'll return to it later. Or never. Yeah. As he's allowed to. I don't know, I got to the point in Factorio where I was sending out rockets. I was automating that. And, like, I've looked at some mods, and it just feels like constraints to make it more difficult. Or more tedious, and it's like, I'm good. I had my fun. I am excited about the update, though. If a mod is about it's 80 hours to beat, I'm not about it. Yeah. Although one of the reasons I got Kingdom Hearts, I've never really been much of a modder, to be honest. Never really. I'm a fairly vanilla game player. But I am excited about playing. I didn't put all 4. I thought I hadn't put... Oh, I guess the 1 is already there to be your clue. Anyway, I am looking forward to playing around with some mods for Kingdom Hearts on Steam. I do have one brother, though, Father Rich Whitney. His hobby is to modify... is to install mods in Skyrim and Fallout 4 to the point that they don't even load. Like, that's his hobby. Just, how many mods can I install? Yeah, it keeps him busy, which is good. I'll sometimes see him on I'll see him on my Steam message, be like, "Oh, starting Fallout 4." It's like, "Oh, how's that going? Is it actually even loading?" Back when the two McElroy brothers worked at Polygon, they had a really funny series that was basically making... It's when Skyrim... Oh, you got it working. Yeah, exactly. But there was a... Back when Skyrim Special Edition came out, they did making their own Skyrim Special Edition where they installed 10 mods each week until it crashed and couldn't run. And then they reinstalled and started over with different mods. It got very ridiculous. And certain mods seem to find ways to stick around that they shouldn't have been able to. Like through installs and reinstalls. It was so funny. I barely played Fallout 4. But I can't remember the last time I played either Skyrim or Fallout New Vegas unmodded. Fair. Yeah, Monster Factory was funny. Then I crashed the game and I don't know what mod broke it. Yeah, that seems to be the way of being a modder. It's awfully quiet. Is nobody home? Look at the giant gash mark in the wall. That's my target. You have a... Oh, nice. From a live show of Adventure Zone. That's sweet. A 300 plus Minecraft mod pack right now. Nice. Yeah, again, a series that I've never really... That I've played a ton of, but never really explored many mods for it. Time to RTC. Huh? Was that another Heartless? You play Minecraft with Matt Beck's brother? Nice. Or something beside the Heartless? Well, Sykes' order to return to RTC as soon as I got the mission done. Yeah, I'd better call it a day. Okay, I get that RTC is authorized, but I can't get out of here. Looks like this is the only way out. I'll just unbar the door. Oh, that'll end well. Emerald is also great modded. I have heard that. Where's Axel? I hope Shion's okay. Backpack! Let's carry 2 additional items. That's pretty sweet. Links to block panels, raise its level. I feel like I should install that, but then again, I never remember to use block anyway, so... Rise and shine, sleepyhead! Sorry, I was up late. Couldn't sleep. Ask Sykes about Shion. And? Your friend was sent out on a mission but never RTC'd. Wait, is that a third-party wireless Nest controller? No, it's a what? Yeah, it's a wireless Nest controller. It's the 8BitDo SN30 Pro. I love this controller. It's great. Certain Paradox games are good mods. Paradox is very mod-friendly, I think, from what I hear. Why not? Shouldn't the mission be done by now? I don't know, but we'll find out what happens soon enough. Why's that? You and me get to go track Shion down. That's our mission today. You mean it? No, I made it all up. Go back to bed. Yes, I mean it. Hurry up and get ready, will ya? I got so excited that I forgot my consoles. That's fair. Let's put this backpack slot in really quickly. And we may as well put the block link in because we already have a slot for it. Now I can wonder if I can Amazon a wireless original Xbox controller. It'd be so terrible. But the memes! Well, I dig this thing because I have it hooked up to both my computers and my Switch. So it's very versatile. And I love this. I grew up on the SNES. The SNES controller is very comfortable to me. They've added the joysticks. It's everything I want in a controller, honestly. But we're going to go ahead. We're going to take a commercial break. So take a moment to get up, stretch your legs, get a drink of water, do what you need to do, and we will be right back in about 3-ish minutes. So I'll see y'all soon. And we are back. Where were we? Right, we gotta talk to folks. It's like relationship shopping. You gotta go and go to the Luxord store and pick up your Luxord dialogue. Shion's whereabouts? Oh, shall I ask the cards for you? Have you been doing much synthesis, man? See if you can cook up something out of the 2 potion panels. Let me know when you're through. I think Shion's in Twilight Town somewhere. Take this, just in case. Ew, hi, Ether. You're back. It's hot out. Greetings, Kopo. There's Demix. Demix. Hey, you did it! Synthesis, really handy. Keep it in mind. Here, have this. Combo tech. Ooh, actually. What is that? Is that something I can add to my weapon? It's a synthesis material. That's weird. Don't come back until you find out what happened to Shion. I just keep making Sykes more and more apathetic in his speech, which I feel is appropriate. Shion has gone missing. You don't say. Who do you suppose Shion is? Well, the mission question was to take out a giant Heartless. Oh. That could be anywhere. Let's start by digging around town for info. If we can't find the Heartless, there's a good chance we'll find Shion too. Right. Yes, someone did Rotada. Ew. Ew. Why are you called a symbol monkey? You have no legs. You look like a treasure chest. You lied to me. I feel so betrayed. Get back here. I can hear the faint noise of construction in my ears. They're putting up a ceiling in an office just down the hall from me. Which I feel is an impressive task. Actually, I wouldn't mind, with that cure recipe, making a second cure and putting it on the level up, so it's even more powerful. Where does this one take me? Right. You sure you heard that right? Yes, I'm sure I told you. All right, you heard it where again? The tunnel. I was just there and I heard a weird low moan. Did you see who was making it? Are you kidding? I was scared. I got out of there as fast as I could. A low moan? Could be our Heartless. Or it could be Xion, injured, unable to make it back to the castle. I'm sure Xion is just fine. Come on, let's go check it out. Okay, how do I get there? Like, I have an idea of where I'm headed, but... I feel like between 2 and 358 they change up how these doors connect, but that could just be my imagination. Hey, Catholic Brit. Good to see ya. Nope. No. Roxas. Attack the Heartless. Something scribbled on the wall. There, it's hungry. Don't turn around. I'm doing well. Had a good 4th. Good weekend. Got to spend a lot of time with my parents, which was nice. They got to come into town. How about yourself? How you doing, Britt? Oh, now it's just open. I just had to hear the cutscene about it. That's arbitrary. Overwhelmed? Oof. Well, I hope it lightens up soon and... W. Cummings' family. Am I going to NEC? No, I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to make it to that. No Heartless either. Huh? What are you guys doing down here? I'm Pence. You lose something? You could say that, yeah. I heard a rumor of a strange moaning sound. Strange moaning. Oh, are you talking about that vent up there? The wind coming through it creates a lot of echoes. It sounds like a moan. What? For crying out loud. So you guys said you lost something? Someone. A friend of ours. You're told this morning that a project due at the end of the week was actually due at the end of the day today. Oof, that is rough, Gale. I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, I'm sorry. Hope you can find him soon. Thanks. So what's your story? Why are you down here? Me? That's a secret. Hey, I don't think we've been introduced. I'm Pence. If you ever need anything, I'm always happy to help. Thanks. Sure, I'll catch you later. Well, that was a dead end. Yeah. All we really learned was that guy's name. Time to hit the town again. Also, that's part of why I'm stressed. I was supposed to go as a free attendee because I applied to go and was accepted based on application. I'm now going, but also doing work a good chunk of the time because of the whole office is going. Just added stress. Yeah. Working in Catholic media be like that. You try to go to something spiritual, and it's like, oh, cool. Write a story on it. Like, I know that's true in other forms of media around the world, but I feel like it's especially true sometimes in the Catholic world, where it's like, oh, you went, so we don't have to pay. You've already covered it. Great. You got a scripture question? Go for it. Ah, big plant. So many moonstones. Every time I go to something spiritual event or a conference, I was wondering in the back of my mind, how can I make a story or two out of the experience? Yeah. I think especially if you're a freelance writer like you, Mesozoic Mind, like, oof. Tell us more stories, kids. What's Pence up to? He said he was off on another of his investigations today. He's been acting pretty dodgy lately, all this sneaking around. I wonder what he's up to. Beats me. He freaked out when I swung by the usual spot yesterday. Whatever he's looking at, he hit it in a hurry. Now why would he do that? I wonder where their usual spot is. Guess we'll have to hunt around. Or if you know the game, you already know it. You've usually got half a dozen stories in your oven. Yeah. Mind Palace? No. Old, weak. Mind Oven? Powerful, new. His stepladder's ancient and squeaks like crazy. I see the dartboard, but where are the darts? Children aren't allowed darts. Too dangerous. This stuff has seen a lot of use. Some of it recent. These crates were just thrown in a pile here. They're all empty, too. Why are Mark and Matthew's accounts of the raising of the girl so drastically different? It's just that they focused on different aspects, or what? Usually their accounts are almost identical, but these aren't. Yeah. Well, actually, I have a book. I just moved all my books into this office, and so I'm still getting used to where things are. The Synopsis Quatuor Evangeliorium. This actually compares all of them in their original Greek, side by side. And also is written, like, the base language is in German for some reason. I don't know. But this is a handy-dandy way to compare things. Ah, yes. This is helpfully labeled as Jahreszugterlein und Heilung der Blutflüssigen. Again, I don't know why everything's labeled in German when everything else is written in Greek. But, you know, we can see some it also shows up in Luke. And what that might suggest, it can vary. Like, the purpose of a miracle in each gospel can vary. So it can be like what they're emphasizing and their audience. Like the fact that Mark includes Talitha Cum and a translation implies that he's writing to an audience that has some understanding of Aramaic, but also not experts by any means. You know, and how like Luke as well. Just bring Luke in because why not? Luke focuses on a lot of the healings in a very doctoral way. Like we generally consider Luke the doctor, like examining them from that angle. So it really does come down to what is the core spiritual difference that they're trying to explain. And I'm not going to sit here and read out the Greek and try and translate it with my terrible Greek. But just looking at it in general, I mean, part of it is that Matthew also has, like, if you go with Q theory, which is what I go with, he's adding onto Mark along with the Q source. And so, like, what details he includes, if they're new, they are ones he considers important from Q, or if he cuts things out from Mark, they're things he doesn't consider are important. So some of the small details are different, like whether he told her to get up or took her hand to help her up. Yeah, I mean, some of those small details just may be preference of authorship, and, like, you know, like, let's say you and a friend were asked to write the same story, you may use a slightly different verbiage. So there may not be, like, an active, intentional reason for that difference, but one comes about nonetheless. In terms of, like, holding her hand, you know, that it shows kind of a personal relationship and connection there, that Mark was trying to convey. And also having, you know, if she was dead, she would have been considered, it would have been impure to touch a dead body, and having already touched or been touched by the woman who was impure, it's a sign further of Christ breaking through of the purity laws, and showing that God's love transcends them. Yeah, and it's complicated because sometimes the differences are very intentional and, like, are very small or can be quite big, and like, they have a reason. Sometimes it's just a different writer in a different time, in a different place, being, like, just passing along the story verbally, and, you know, maybe a verb changes here or there, and not, like, changing the meaning, but it's like went from running to jogging or something like that. You know, and drawing upon different sources. Because, like, Luke draws upon his tradition and Q, Matthew draws upon Mark and Q, and that's why there's a lot of overlap between the three, whereas John is just writing entirely in his own style and his own tradition. So it's something you can, a good study Bible will compare it and have, like, references, be like, it parallels with this passage in this other gospel, and sometimes even be able to explain, like, some of the nuances of, like, this and that. A funny one is not from this past weekend, but the weekend before, when Jesus calms the sea. You know, Luke and Matthew are both say, he's asleep in the back. Mark, he's asleep in the back on a pillow. And it's like, that's such a weird, random detail to include. Why are you going out of your way to mention that it's on a pillow? But, you know, looking at, well, I didn't read it super closely, you know, looking at the Greek immediately, Luke and Matthew in that section parallel pretty closely, whereas Mark being a little bit pithier and quicker, it's usually like you'll have a paragraph for Matthew, and then you'll have, like, a line from Mark, and it tracked for that. Huh? There's something behind this oil drum. Hey, I found a piece of paper. Some kind of map. Somebody scribbled notes on it. Spooky steps, friends from beyond the wall. Hey, this one about a moaning tunnel. Sounds familiar, huh? There's more. The doppelganger, the animated bag. If you played Kingdom Hearts 2, you know what these are. A ghost train, a haunted mansion? There's 7 altogether. What's it all mean? I think we know just the guy to ask. If nothing else, he seems to know a lot about town. Any answer? Hey, it's all good. Happy to answer. That is why this stream exists, is to be a place to ask questions, either on technical level like that or on personal level. So I'm glad that you were able to ask that question today. Pence, why are you hiding here in the cellar of the town? Yeah, today's is Matthew's version of it. Hey guys, something I can help you with? Hey, actually, we had a question.
Okay, shoot. Let's see if I know anything.
Is anything weird happening here, you know, in the town? I mean, there are a lot of little quirks and mysteries, like say, the spooky stairs. Oh.
So you guys are like me investigating the town's 7 wonders?
Yeah, something like that. Hey, no, Brett, you're all good. Vassal asks a gospel question, I'm floored.
I wasn't planning to talk to anyone about it until I finished up my investigation, but alright, I'll tell you what I've got so far. That is, if you can answer the following questions.
What?
They're about the town. I want to see how serious you are about investigating this place. What's at the top of Station Heights?
Station Plaza? What's written on the bulletin board in Station Heights? The struggle draws near?
How many cars in the train can you see from
Station Plaza. Just one car.
Oh, sorry, that's not right. But it's not too hard to go check, though. Just say the word if you want to go another round.
I hate missions like this in games. One interesting thing which occurred to me recently was traditional attribution that Luke is the only gospel written by a Gentile correlates with both Luke being both the only gospel except by Marcy and Luke missing some of I am references which appear in the other 3. On that note, I gotta hop off so I can call this person and hopefully get them to answer and do the interview. Godspeed, I hope you got the interview. Glad we could... Yeah, that track spray I heard. I hadn't thought of that. About the I am statements, that's interesting. Sea salt ice cream.
Correct. All right. A promise is a promise. I'll tell you what I know. So I've been digging around and I've learned that the town's wonders are all linked. In the sense that they're all made up. Nothing but stupid urban legends and rumors.
What?
Like those stairs you mentioned. Total sham. The truth is about that one is embarrassing.
Just another sleepy town, huh?
Sorry guys, you're wasting your time. Well, except for the 8th wonder.
There's an 8th?
What about the tree? Out in the woods? There's one tree where if you shake it, the whole place starts to rustle. Swish, swish, swish. Weird, huh? I still haven't seen it firsthand, so I can't tell you much. But people have said they feel like they're being watched, even if the host is Uriad.
Pretty strange.
Wouldn't be much of a wonder if it wasn't. I'm planning to go figure out the trick behind it later.
Good luck with that.
Thanks. Well, I should be back to my investigation. Try to keep this to yourselves, yeah.
I'm sorry I'm roasting you like this, Pence, but you deserve it. That was uninformative. Maybe. Maybe not. Huh? He said people have been feeling some kind of presence in the woods outside of town, right? Maybe that's Xi'an's target. Right. Let's go check it out. Heartless are spawning. Means I'm on the right track. I chose entirely the wrong door. Yeah, I guess it's not that bad, because I can cut across here, and I'll be in town on the far side. So I can come over this way to the spooky mansion.
Yeah.
Hey, which tree is it supposed to be, though? Guess I just need to hit them all. Thrilling gameplay. Oh, there we go. Is something there? Looks like we got a live one here. Hurry, Roxas, don't let get away. Right. Think that's the one? No wonder Xion had trouble. It was blending right into the scenery. So where is Xion? Still out there trying to find it, probably. What do you suggest? Well, target's a target. Doesn't matter who takes it out. I say we do it now before it vanishes again. A target's a target unless it's a Walmart. Right. Here we go. Xion! Roxas? Xion! Focus, Roxas. We have to take that thing first. Is Target or Walmart fancier? Target. No contest. Especially if you pronounce it Target. Yes, the French form. Shion, are you okay? Roxas? It looked like it hurt. My robot, I mean, human bones are fine. I'm fine, thanks. It's just... You can tell us all about it, but first, let's find a place to sit down. Target has gotten super junky. Yeah, it really has. Here you go. Thanks. Also, it's weird, but pay attention to when Shion has her hood up. Eat up, it's gonna melt. I know. What's wrong? Not hungry? You want to talk about it? What happened? We're here for you if you want to get it off your chest. Right, Roxas? Yeah, that's what friends are for. I can't use the Keyblade anymore. And without it, I can't do my job. What happened? I don't know, but if I don't defeat Heartless with the Keyblade, the hearts they release just find their way into other Heartless instead. I swat them in one place and they just pop up in another. I'm supposed to be collecting hearts. Those are my orders. Without the Keyblade, I'm useless. Is there anything you can do, Axel? I wish there was. But it's just like Shion said, no Keyblade, no can do. They're gonna turn me into a dusk once they find out they don't need me. Come on, Axel, think of something. Yeah, I'm racking my brain here, and there's just no way to... Wait! What? Tell us! What if you work double duty, Roxas? Huh? What do you mean, Axel? Shion, stick with Roxas until you can control the Keyblade again. Make sure your missions are with him. Then he can collect the hearts. And nobody will ever have to know that you're not doing the same. Axel, that's brilliant. But, Roxas, that also means you have to collect twice as many hearts. I can do it. You don't mind? Of course not. But... hey, friends have got to be able to lean on each other now and then. Ain't that right, Roxas? Thanks. So, Axel, does that mean you and I can be friends? Oh, yeah, was there ever any doubt? Any friend of Roxas is a friend of mine. Thank you, Roxas. Axel, thank you. Eat your ice cream. Want to compare OJ between Portugal and the US? Apparently less than 1 hour work in New York, you can buy 178 fluid ounces of OJ. There's a lot of OJ. Her hood is like King's earrings in The King and I. What, do they keep like switching accidentally? Oh, air slide. That's so good. Because here's the thing. You may have noticed that like anytime Axel was talking to her, her hood was up. Until the very end when he said they were friends. I don't want to spoil anything per se, but at the same... I mean, this game is like, what, 15 years old? Like, I think I can... Jumps from ear to ear. So her hood going up and down was very intentional, actually. and I don't want to spoil too much for those of you watching this maybe for the first time, but again, it is a 15-year-old game. So I'm not going to spoil the ending, but something that's important is Shion's appearance reflects how others perceive her is a key factor. So Axel was perceiving her with the hood up, kind of hiding her personality, hiding her face, until he said they were friends. So, and remember, that's how she was to everyone at the beginning, but at a certain point, her head, Roxas got to see her face, and there's that connection. So that becomes a major plot point later, but I think it's good to explain it now. And the first time I played this, I thought it was a glitch, but no, it's actually a storytelling device. Morning, Roxas. Hey! You ready to give this a shot? Yeah, come on. See, again, see who's talking to her. Together. Yeah, is it a problem? What in the world would possess you to ask at a time like this? We're short-handed as it is, and you expect me to say yes? And again, hood up, hood down now. Why not? Seems like a good idea to me. Put 2 half pints together and you get a whole. If you let us pair up, we can do tougher missions for you, no problem. Fine, as you wish. Let's see, what shape is air slide? It's like that, okay. Put it in like that. Working as a paracupo. Synthesize this cure. Dodge Rush L. Ooh, that'd be good, but we don't have anywhere near the materials for it. So I'll take one of these fires out in favor of Cure, because that'll give me Cure level 2, which is, you know, better. I would take out the high potion then to put this level in. Which means we are going in with no items. But just for one mission. Let me give you this before we take off. Anasia! Lord is good to me. She answered the phone, was willing to answer the questions, had the time now, and gave a great quote. Ah, blessed be the Lord. That's great to hear. I'm happy to hear that, Britt. You and her will work. Just keep it subtle, yeah? By the way, you've been filling the bonus gauge completely, Roxas? Organization rewards guys who do thorough work. Give it a try. Fill the gauge for days 51 to 57, then come see me. Sykes may have something for you. Oh, hey, you filled up the bonus gauge. That's great. Somebody's an eager beaver. I think Sykes put together a special mission for you. Go ask him for the details. Yay, secret mission. Off with you. You had better prove the 2 of you can work like 3, or this arrangement comes to an end. Just do a good old-fashioned collect hearts. Okay, Shion, I know you don't have the Keyblade, but do you have magic at least? Sick karate chops?
Yeah.
Ah! I'm getting stuck against the statue. Oh. Oh no, my DS is lagging. I thought I'd fix this issue. Cursed music. That implies that this qualifies. Okay, so funny story. So the first stream of this, where it was like super glitchy and like slow and sounding very electronic, on the opening with Sanctuary, Twitch didn't even flag that as being Sanctuary on the muting the VOD. That's how bad the distortion was. Yeah, it's not muted. YouTube caught it, interestingly enough. YouTube flagged it and said, oh, can't monetize this. Not that any of my YouTube is monetized. I'm nowhere near that level. She doesn't seem to have made any difference. The master's temper is bad as ever. Someone's coming. Hide. Oh, if only he would make an attempt to be suave or genteel. Surely then he'd see. Is that a... Find how not to get copyrighted 3 steps. Companies hate him. Sign up now. It's a clock. Yeah, you mentioned a master. You think he's a servant here in the castle? Maybe. What are we doing? The way he's pacing around, yeah, we'll have to keep out of sight while we take out Heartless. That'll be easy, right? Cogsworth can't hear. What? Oh. How peculiar. I could have sworn. Oh well, perhaps the master's finally driven me to distraction. Lumiere, not Lumiere, Cogsworth, he almost spotted us. Cogsworth's movement is really erratic. Yeah, what? Oh, that's a big Heartless. Snapper Dog. Mmm, green snapper. Very tasty. I thought I installed Air Dash. Oh, you repress jump to do it. Okay. Why not? Thought maybe a Heartless might be in the corner. Just need a few more to get the bonus. Wait, why can she air dash twice, but I can only air dash once? Wow, Shion, why does your mom let you have 2 air dashes? Speaking of copyright music, there's one band I enjoy, but that Twitch doesn't recognize, so it doesn't flag as copyright when I stream. I don't always listen to them when streaming, so 99% of the time I don't save my VODs. But if I ever want to, I know to listen to them. It's not bad to have stuff in your pocket like that. That's why I use Run Kalinas's stuff. Like, it's very intentionally copyright-free for content production. As long as you just actively credit him. They're on Spotify? There's a lot of music on Spotify, to be fair. Don't feel like I need double cast. I think I'm just gonna throw in a potion. That opens slot. They're very big. What band is it? I'm curious now. So anything with a Keyblade you have to do. Assess my mobility. Okay. Under the Rug. Huh. Nope. Never heard of them. What kind of music are they? Maybe that's why they're copyright free, though. They're Under the Rug. I'm not gonna bother getting the bonus completion on this one. I've already failed it. Or described Google describes as alternative indie rock. Oh, okay, I know the sound you're talking about. What? Roxas, you totally could have grabbed onto that. Seeing it live, it was an incredible concert. Really nice. Let's pull our opposite views compared to the church and lots of things, but great music. Yeah, you know. To paraphrase Saint Basil, it is good to read and listen to things that are not always in line with Christianity to know what kind of world we do not want. I've already collected both chests, and yet there's a chest here. Think of the presentation of DoxCon? Exactly. I point a lot of people to that talk because I think it was really good and really insightful. Destroy Shadow Globs. I've always really dug the Agrabah street sound, or street music in Kingdom Hearts. Love the drums in it. Get out of here, loudmouth. You're only making this fight more obnoxious. How did you heal? Did you despawn somehow? Oh goody, there's another one. Just what I wanted. Yay. I know you don't have a Keyblade, but that doesn't mean you just have to jump around dancing, watching me while I defeat these Heartless. You could cast a spell or something. Bad healing, Heartless. How dare you have a sense of self-preservation? Doxicon is a convention conference on the intersection of science fiction, fantasy, speculative media, and faith, particularly through an Orthodox lens, as it's hosted by the Orthodox parish, or an Orthodox parish in Washington, D.C. I went last year and it was really good. And this year I'm actually a speaker. Thought Doxicon was a convention where we dox each other for fun. Oh. No, it's doxism like doxology. I'm speaking on video games. So the theme of this year is the Incarnation. So I'm giving a breakout talk that focuses on... The title is How Not to Be Incarnationally Gaming. And I'm going to compare two games, one Christian, one not, and compare which one is actually better at, showing the light of the Incarnation through it. Spoiler alert, it's not the Christian game. No, I will caveat this by saying, not every Christian game and every secular game are comparable, but I'm going for one that is very clearly trying to be sort of not just educational, but like trying to elicit a sense of faith. Can I record I would love to record it. I don't know if I can. I'll find out as it gets closer. Now, there are good Christian games out there, to be fair. Like, I don't want to... But we all know the bad examples that exist, and they kind of stand out. And I think it's a great lesson in general of, like, when we're making Christian Catholic media, good ways and bad ways to do it. Find that a lot of Christian tales both... Yeah, that's the key thing. A lot of Christian media fails at both being Christian and entertaining. VeggieTales is a good example, actually. Not every episode, obviously, but, you know, find me a series where every episode is perfect. Yeah, exactly. I've played some bad examples, I've played some good ones. I don't want to spoil what they are, though, so you have an incentive to come to Doxicon or watch the talk later if I can get it recorded. Yeah, most stuff is recorded, but I don't know how much... It seems to vary. I work on the social media... or I shouldn't say I work. I volunteer on the social media team, so... That should give me some leverage to say, hey, I'd like to have this broadcast. But I think we're going to call it there for the day. Just a few minutes early. Oh, where is my hairbrush? Oh, where is my hairbrush? Oh, wait, I know where it is. It's in my desk drawer. Yes, I keep a hairbrush in my office. I work in television, essentially. I have to be prepared. The brush is mostly left over from... Actually, I do brush my hair now more than I comb it, but that was something I picked up for when I got longer hair. But now I actually prefer brushing my hair. Make Grim Bald be with me. Not the bald part. I'll just be Grim, I guess. You keep a hairbrush at your office desk, but that's because you have long hair. Yep. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. Join us again tomorrow at 2 p.m. for Spirituality Tuesday. We're doing another episode of Kings of Israel. We're probably going to call it there for the day, or for the game. And then on Thursday, more Retro Thursday, Throwback Thursday with Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And then next week, there will be no stream on Monday. I'll be out of town. Tuesday, there may or may not be a stream depending on when I get back, so keep an eye on Twitter. That'll be the best place to find out if I'm streaming. And if we do stream, what would I be playing? Oh yeah, I'm gonna start Thomas Was Alone after that. And I'm not starting midweek Minecraft this week. It's next week that it starts. So this week, I have a staff meeting in the afternoon, so I won't be able to do it. But next week, I'll start up midweek Minecraft, and then we'll keep doing Castlevania Symphony of the Night until we beat Dracula. And then after that, we're gonna switch over to Indiana Jones: Fate of Atlantis. So that'll be a lot of fun. So keep an eye out for those. Again, no stream on Monday, but keep an eye out. Brain. I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, keep an eye out for Tuesday to see if I'm streaming or not. But again, Monday, no stream. I'll be at Lake George. Looking forward to it. We have a house up there. It's great. We've had it there since 1864. So it's a bit rustic, but it's good. But other than that, thank you to everyone for joining today. Glad you could be here for the stream. Thank you for all the follows, likes, subscribes, joining the Discord, following the YouTube, all that good jazz. Yeah, dang, long time. Long time. It's been in the family for a while, as we say. But yeah, thank you so much to everyone for joining today, and I'll see y'all on Thursday. So let's see who we can raid. I think P-Tony is live, but he's gonna be wrapping up soon. Um, yeah, he wraps up in about 40 minutes, so we won't raid him. Let's give Clavier a raid. Clavier Talis is a pretty new VTuber. But he's been in the circle of Game of Favorites and Catholic Twitch for a while. You may have known him as Frater Anselm. He's a good guy. He's a Devonian or Devonian. I forget the name. He's a fellow religious and he's a seminarian. So he's the Mr. Bean of Stalker. There you go. So we're gonna raid on over to him. So give him some love. He just made affiliate recently. So yeah. And again, thank you to everyone for stopping on by today. Hope you had a good time. And we'll see y'all on Thursday. Take care and God bless.